All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the next edition of the All Things Protoss Team League. And today I have actually with me a special guest who will be casting alongside. It is, in fact, the one and only Dactylogram. Hello, Mr.
Hello,
Dactyl.
everyone. I am here by popular demand and also by simply asking in the Discord if I could be a caster, and here we are.
Yeah, it's super sick, actually. Everyone's been waiting for this moment for a long time. Glad the communication was clear enough to be able to finally schedule this to happen. Yeah, welcome, man. How does it feel to be on the big stage here of the ATP Team League?
Not gonna lie, I'm a little bit excited. I've never had something so big and successful as the ATP Team League reach out to me. I've had ESL reach out to me. I've had, DreamHack, but not ATP Team League. So this means a lot.
So true. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. We are also actually going to be having someone else joining us on the desk as well, and that is Mr. Lorimbo. How you doing, Lorimbo? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, absolutely. How you doing?
Nice. I'm doing pretty well. I'm hyped. I'm liking the Mario emote on my face. That's an accurate representation of what I look like. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh my god, dude!
I'm very hyped for the match.
I'm glad. I came up with the idea of that. I was like screenshotting your thing to like put on the picture, and I was like, wait a minute. I have a little idea. Here.
Chat is enjoying it too. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, Lorimbo is not actually in the team league. He's not playing, but he will be here analyzing the matches with us today. And the game that we do have today is going to be Enpo versus Eiger, which will be an interesting one for sure. We've got the actual lineups being Enpo versus Eiger in the first match. I can never say this freaking guy's name. Bull Mjolja versus Guitar King, and Goat Puncher versus Rom Buzz. Lorimbo, what do you feel about this match coming up?
Wait, can you link it or something? Like, I completely forgot already what the first match was by the time you got to the second one. Okay.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, do you expect me to memorize 6 names in a row? You just fast rapping it. What? No. Okay. So I vaguely remember the. Okay, nice. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. So Enpo versus Eiger. Okay, that's the obvious ones. That's a nice matchup. Like I'm hyped, bro. Like Enpo is hell of a player, and Eiger is pretty cool too, I guess. So I'm predicting. Okay, do we have to go with realistic prediction, or do we have to go with dream predictions?
You can do whatever you want, man. Whatever your heart desires.
Realistically, as much as I love Enpo, I feel like Eiger is like a little step above. But in my heart, Enpo is gonna fucking destroy this match. Okay, like I'm believing. For Bulm against Guitar King, I remember thinking when I read the lineups that Guitar King is actually good enough to almost be up a tier. So, while no disrespect to Bulm, which I also think is a good player, but like I played against Guitar King and the guy is legitimately very good. So I have a feeling that he's gonna win for that seems to be favoring Team Eiger here. Goat Puncher versus Ram, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't know the player that well. I don't even know the races. So I don't feel confident in making a prediction, even though Goat Puncher is one hell of a name. So I feel like I'm just gonna go with Goat Puncher because of the name.
That's awesome. All right. Thank you so much, Lorimbo, for that insane analysis. Dactyl, what are you feeling about any of these matches coming up?
Yeah, so I don't know anything about the players' MMRs. I don't really know who's favored, so I'm going into this with a open mind. I'm going to try to be objective in my analysis. I also do want to say for the Twitch chat, in order to prepare for this day, I went to Bing and I went to their AI feature and I asked it how to become a successful StarCraft 2 shoutcaster, and it gave a paragraph response, and I just want to highlight this one part. It's important to have a good understanding of the game mechanics and strategies so you can provide insightful commentary. I believe I, as your caster, can do precisely that. So I will be able to, very efficiently figure out who's winning and who's losing while watching these games. I think I can do that.
Awesome. That's. I mean, that makes my job a lot easier as well. It's great to hear. Yeah. So, what are we thinking as an overall prediction for where this match is going to be going? Then, Larimbo, what's your score line? Are you expecting?
Okay, I feel like Team Eiger prepared really well. I feel like their lineup is really solid. Eiger is solid. Guitar King is solid. Rombos, I have no clue what that is. Sorry, my man. I love you anyway. So I'm gonna go 2-1. Well, it's a best of 3, right? Of 3 matches, or like
best of 2.
7.
Each one is the best of 2.
Oh, okay, so it's the Chinese format. So I'm gonna go for 2-0 for Eiger, 2-0 for Guitar King, and maybe 1-1 for Gold Punch and Rumble. So 5-1. That's what I would predict. But in my mind, Enpo is gonna 2-0 Eiger. Okay, if I have to believe, that's my prediction for it. The Enpo team is super unpredictable, bro. It could be a complete reverse. That's why it's so exciting. I've seen Enpo play. The man, if he takes a single build from Sacred Coco, the game is over. There is no shot anyone wins anymore. The moment the Coco builds are brought in.
Remember, I love your accent so much. Can I just say that real quick? I am I literally am dying laughing right now. I'm trying to not get it on the mic, but this, I just absolutely love listening to you talk. Dactyl, what do you expect as a scoreline for the end of this match?
Well, given my high level kind of analysis, what I did is I took a quarter and I just flipped the coin 6 times, and it came out to be 4 heads, 2 tails. But of course, the coin doesn't tell me which team is the tails, which team's the head, so you can make that decision yourself. But I think it's going to be a 4-2 either way.
Nice. Wow. Okay. That's actually a great way to go about it. There's been a lot of 4-2s as well in the league itself, so you might not even be very off on that one. So always believe the coin.
Yeah, it's just the coin doesn't tell me which team represents the head. That's the only thing I can't discern. So there's a little bit of uncertainty there.
All right, that's true. I feel like Eiger is someone that really likes to use his head a lot, so I'm gonna go ahead and think that Eiger's team is the head's team. And when I think of Enpo, I honestly just think of just something that belongs on someone's butt, and that's a tail. So Enpo gets the tails,
No,
Yeah,
bro. Enpo has a huge brain. I'm telling you. Enpo must be the head team. Empo's the biggest brain ever. While Eiger plays Protoss, how big can his brain be?
But
realistically. Shut up. That only applies to Eiger, though. That's how it works. It only applies to the guy I want to lose. That's how it works.
Oh my god. All right, excellent. Thank you for your amazing analysis. We'll come back to you a little bit after the first match. Thank you so much. Holy moly. All right, anyways, we are going to be getting into this one real quick here to get everything going along. The first match is going to be, like we said, Enpo versus Eiger, which will surely be an interesting one. And this is actually going to be Eiger's first appearance, as his first match was unable to happen with him because his computer was broken. So Luton stepped in and had an interesting showing. But regardless, we are going to be going into the first game here of Enpo and Eiger. And Dactyl, how about you go ahead and introduce both these players? Let's have you go for it.
So spawning here in the top right-hand side of Royal Blood is Enpo, and spawning in the bottom left-hand side is Eiger. And I do not know what these team tags stand for. So Gemini, what do they stand for?
It's a good question as well. I know that K10 is the new team that Eiger is the manager of, actually. And Enpo's is... I actually have no idea.
Okay.
MM is apparently a Finnish team, Micromaniacs. That sounds like a troll name, but okay, we'll go with it.
Anyways, let's talk about the game and the matchup. So, what we're seeing is, well, it's a mirror matchup, so it's mirrored. There's my hard-hitting analysis. 1 gate, 1 gas. It looks to be a 2-gate opener. Enpo seems to be a little bit faster. Maybe he's just got those, quick fingers. You never know. Now, Gemini, a lot of people consider this matchup to be the worst matchup in all the matchups. Do you agree with that? Or do you think that, we've got some hope with this being a good matchup?
Nah, people that say PvP is the worst, like, don't actually even understand what good StarCraft is. It's just like the amount of mind games that you can pull in this matchup, how close it could be, the micro interactions can be pretty sick. I mean,
100%,
if you are watching a match like TVT, for example, and you are like, wow, this is the peak StarCraft, then I might think that you need to visit a mental hospital of some sort, because, oh my god, wait, Eiger just killed a probe. Holy shit. Enpo's mad as fuck.
That was a surprising move. I mean, at this level, we don't expect probes to die in the enemy's mineral line. Yeah, I agree with you completely on that. My take is that ZVZ is the worst matchup. But, that's a discussion for another time. Now, both players are proxying pylons in slightly different locations. Eiger proxying the Stargate, and Enpo, we haven't seen what it is yet. It stands to reason that it could be, well, could still be Stargate, because he's opening a depths. I was going to say it might be different. He's just patrolling the probe. We don't know yet. As far as the build goes, double adept just finishing for Enpo. Well, the second adept's a little bit late. And there he goes. All right, now he's going to shade across. And, well, seems to be a whole lot of nothing so far. Everyone's just waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, I mean, the problem here for Enpo is that not only did he lose a probe at the start, which is going to be a little annoying, it also kind of mentally tilts him a little bit here. No, oh my god, he actually saved... Oh, that was actually a sick save to be able to deny the scout on the proxy here. That was really nicely done by Enpo. The problem, though, is that his proxy is so much later than Eiger's, and he doesn't even have a battery in his main base yet, because the Oracle is already about to get in there, and there's only adepts out for Enpo, and it's as long as Eiger can keep this wall up, and he's definitely paying attention to do so, this Oracle is going to wreak havoc in the other mineral line.
Right, yeah, the Oracle, it's going to town already, and there's GG. Okay.
Well, looks like Eiger's out for blood today. That is for sure. What a swift one there. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Not a single bit of units or anything that could possibly attack air in that scenario. So a bit unfortunate for Enpo, given the build orders there.
Right, and I just want to clarify for the audience. We were saying at the start that PvP is not the worst matchup. We never made any claims about it being the longest or the shortest or, the most exciting. It's just, we don't think it's the worst in terms of strategy.
We also didn't say that it wasn't the best. We only said it wasn't the worst.
Yes,
so it could be the second worst as well. Even though I don't actually believe that.
Yes.
Sometimes I will say that yes, PvP can be one of the worst matchups you've ever seen, but it also has the chance of being one of the best, and I don't know if I can say that for every other matchup. That's all I'm saying. Excellent. All right, we're going to be getting right into the second one here. The second map. All these ones today are going to be played from replays because the matches were not able to be scheduled to all play at the same time, so we have them all as replays, which just kind of makes it go a little bit quicker and smoother as well. So hopefully that won't be too much of an issue with the match going for frickin' 4.5 hours like yesterday did.
Yep.
But, yep.
All right, so spawning in the bottom left for Proletariat, right? Enpo?
Yep.
Or is Proletariat the other guy? All right, Proletariat, good for Enpo. And spawning in the top right is Eiger. I forget Eiger's team. What was his team?
His team's Alternate Reality.
Alternate Reality, great. All right. So, we see a little bit of variation this time, right? Enpo, high ground wall off, and Eiger, low ground wall off. So this could be a 1-gate expand. 1-gate expands obviously makes sense on maps with a ramp in front of your natural. This is the build that was popularized by Max Packs. But we'll have to see whether or not Eiger can actually channel the Max Packs execution, or whether, like me, he'll just flub it and not survive. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to actually play as good as Max Specs in these 1-gate expand situations. It's like he really just kind of has like a fifth brain, it seems like, when or a fifth sense. Fifth brain. He probably does have 5 freaking brains as well, but he's got like a fifth sense for this thing to be able to just kind of sniff out everything, knows every single situation. It's like the old Stefano from like 2012, where it's like he just literally just, no matter what, he knew the exact response in every situation with his Infestor Broodlord garbage. So it's like Max Fax is one of those players that is also just so good at that. Eiger, equally so, is someone that I think is just so cool, based, and awesome, and very sexy as well. So it's like, you know, as long as he is in this game, I can pretty much assume that the 1-gate expand is going to go about as well as it could.
Yeah. So what I'm wondering here is, how's Enpo going to respond? His second pylon is in his mineral line, so he's not going to proxy off a second pylon. He still could do it off a third or a fourth if he really wants to proxy. Otherwise, he can just expand after a couple units. He is sending the probe away. Eiger does get his expansion up, and it's going to be double Stalker and Warp Gate as the start for Enpo. He is fighting, well, they're both fighting each other's probes, and neither of them die. Okay. And Enpo is going to proxy. Oh, he did?
No, I would have just, the 2 games in a row, if Enpo lost a scouting or lost a probe both times, that would have been crazy.
Yes, okay. And it's going to be a proxy Stargate again from Enpo. And Eiger, meanwhile, there's no battery on the low ground. No battery in the mineral line. This could be a problem. Alright, the battery does go down right now. But I don't know, this is looking... If I had to guess, I think Enpo's kind of in the driver's seat here. I think he has a chance to do some real damage.
Yep, he's definitely going to be doing some actual aggression here. He's got the 2 Stalkers already up here, but with some decent micro and high ground vision, it's not going to be that bad for Eiger yet. It's going to be depending on what is actually coming out of this, and it is going to be a Void Ray, so I was wondering, given the position and the proxy gateway, if it was actually going to be... Oh my god, the Scout is so huge by Eiger. That's amazing. And he's already going for a faster 3rd gate as well. So if he just puts down a couple batteries and gets his units out on time, I think he's actually going to be in a pretty decent spot here.
Right, now I don't know if Eiger was looking at that exact moment when it flew over to see that it was a Void Ray in production. But he definitely knows that something's coming. And I'm curious, is he cutting... He is cutting workers right now. He's just getting army. So definitely he's preparing for this.
Yeah, and Enpo is going to go right on it immediately. Oh my god, actually almost losing his Stalkers to the force field, and one of them will go down to get after getting trapped there. It's pretty good by Eiger so far. The Void Ray took so much damage in that initial engagement, though, which is going to be really difficult for Enpo to really continue to sustain this push, as the batteries also now in this post-nerf patch as well, making it so that way forward batteries are not actually as good with the less energy. So this is gonna not be that great for Enpo going on into this little engagement here.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much of a fan I am of batteries aggressively like this. I think the move for the proxy made sense, but transitioning into a full 1-base all-in like this, I think is just very risky, because if you don't break your opponent within a certain window, they just win by default. They've got the better eco, they have a second nexus. So we're gonna have to see. So far, if we look at the units lost tab, it's basically dead even. I think if I were in Enpo's shoes, I'd be hoping to have a bit more of an advantage, given that it's even. I mean, right there, we see one Stalker almost die, but the keyword is almost. The Stalker didn't die. Only 1 gate removed. I think Eiger is just chilling.
Yeah, if he gets Blink up as well, this is just basically game over. The problem is just that Enpo, 1, got scouted very quickly, and 2, it seemed like Eiger was just kind of well prepared to deal with something like this after scouting the fact that it was a 2-gate opener instead of a 1-gate expand itself. He already had a third gateway coming, so he was kind of just ready for some sort of aggression no matter what. If Enpo had decided to just do a 2-gate into something else, like a slower expand, then it could have been
Blink's
okay.
done, by the way.
Yeah, Blink being done is going to make this super hard. I mean, more batteries are trying to get placed by Enpo, but it's like he's really kind of just trying to delay anything. Oh, even a bait onto the overcharge there, so that way that's not even going to be that useful here. And Eiger's just playing with his opponent right now. To be fair, though, not many units are actually dying yet for Enpo. It's just everything is super low at the moment. Once Eiger then just get a couple more Stalkers, he's eventually going to be able to one-shot everything, and he keeps trying for it. But as of right now, he's actually not quite doing that, and he hasn't really killed anything.
And by the way, with the core being sniped just now, no more Stalkers can be produced. So this is kind of it until we get another core up.
Yeah, but those force fields are actually huge, trapping so many Stalkers up on the high ground, and we were saying that Enpo wasn't really losing anything just yet, but then, right then, loses way too many Stalkers for basically free here. It's going to basically give the time that Eiger needed to get his Cyber back up, and a whole another round of Warpins of Stalkers will be ready here. And, yeah, I mean, this is going to be so... Oh, he's even going way too far with these Void Rays. Oh, this is rough.
Yeah, and we were just talking a couple minutes ago about the resources lost tab where it was about even, and now it is in the favor of Eiger by a considerable margin. So, yeah, the longer this game goes on, I think Eiger just wins. The mains are starting to mine out. We're approaching the 8-minute mark. So Enpo is going to have to either start distance mining or place a Nexus this late, which neither are good options.
Yeah, I mean, he keeps making all these batteries, but it's like, it doesn't even matter at this point because there's already enough Stalkers out to one-shot anything that the batteries aren't even going to be able to get to heal anything. So this is essentially just wasted resources at this point. Empo's just basically on full cope right now, trying whatever he can. Eiger is still kind of, you know, just not exactly getting all the perfect focus fires. We'll eventually start to get them once Enpo starts to walk up the ramp a little bit here. But, yeah, I mean, this is just Eiger being in full control of this game right now. He's even got extra resources to spare after the different warp-ins, so he can even start to get an extra gate here and there, some extra batteries, whatever is possible to help finally finish off this game.
I think I would really like to see a DT Shrine, possibly if he has got the gas income for that. I don't think he does right now. I think if he fully saturates the assimilator, he might be able to sneak one in, because if that comes out, that's just game ends, 100%. But it looks like he's going to play a slightly less spicy and slightly more conservative approach, which is just more Stalkers, and just have an overwhelming number.
Yeah, I mean, he is really being patient with this, just kind of waiting for Enpo to kill himself, essentially. Eiger is not taking any chances in this game here, and he's even just individually microing his Stalkers back instead of focus firing to one-shot, which is actually giving Enpo the best possible fight he could have because it allows the batteries to actually heal things. But even with that scenario happening, it doesn't really matter because Eiger just has so much freaking shit. And that is going to be a 2-0 for him for the first match of this Team League match. Pretty sick. Eiger showing good form after the initial poor performance out of him the other time. 1 second. Yeah, what did you think overall about the series, Dactyl?
I think, first of all, it was a very short series. You know, there are some series where we can have 2 games take 30, 40 minutes, right? If they get to be long, drawn-out macro games. But these were kind of short. I think in the first game, you know, Eiger was just a little bit faster with that proxy, and turns out that was it. And then in this game, we saw he decided to just play a completely different style, and he succeeded there as well. So Eiger really comes out of that series looking like the better player with, you know, a more diverse array of strategies at his disposal. So going forward in the tournament, I definitely have to put my cards on the table for Eiger.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed pretty good. We're going to bring in our wonderful Italian analyst, Lorimbo, here to also help break down some of these games. Lorimbo, welcome back. How did you enjoy that quite quick series?
I've enjoyed both of them, actually. Well, the first game was, it was what it was. But it was way more entertaining than expected, considering it was PvP, a matchup for which I'm clearly highly qualified to analyze. But yeah, Enpo didn't disappoint. I knew he was gonna pull out some interesting builds. I like the idea. First game, honestly, was just, if I have to be honest, I think Gogo just got unlucky. I think it was a build order lost straight up. I'm assuming that this plan with the second game was exactly the same as the first one. So it was actually the same build. But I don't know. First game, there's not much to say. The two adepts were cute. Maybe as a distraction. I thought that could have bought him sometimes, but just the threat of the Oracle just killed him. Nothing much to say. The second game was way better. I felt like both players, not disrespect meant, kind of didn't play that greatly, or at least there were a bunch of stuff that was weird. The first from Eiger were great. They definitely won in the game. Both the first ones at the very start and the ones that actually caught 3 stalkers after the cyber was dead. I thought for a moment that maybe Fempo just went straight in after killing the cyber. There was a very small timing window in which you could have tried to snipe the super battery. I'm not sure that would have worked. But I thought it was better than the alternative, being slowly strangled to death. Yeah. But I don't know if it would have worked, honestly. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough spot getting scouted so early, and just feels like Eiger just kind of knew that it was even coming from the beginning and alone. So unlucky series.
Did say, yeah.
Yep. Unlucky series for Enpo for sure. We're actually going to be going into Goat Puncher versus Rambuzz next, which is technically not the right order, but apparently that was more the order in which the replays were played in. So that makes it a little bit more true to the actual league here. But regardless, that is what we're going to be going into next. Dactyl, what are you feeling about this Goat Puncher Rambuzz game? You said you don't quite know much about them, but give me some predictions or something. Go ahead, talk.
What race does Rambuzz play?
They're both Protoss.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
I mean, so again, the coin said 4-2. We already had 2 in one direction. I don't know. I think maybe this is another 2 in one direction, if I had to guess. Yeah, I don't really know much about the players. I'm gonna go with Goat Puncher. Why not?
Nice. Lorimbo, what are you thinking?
I'm gonna go against Dactyl. I think this is a perfectly even matchup. Goat Puncher feels like, just from the name, you can tell he's a tricky player. Like, if I meet someone on ladder who's called Goat Puncher, I'm scouting all bases constantly, for sure. Especially if it's like a buff with a fucking gold minerals or some bullshit like that. 100%. And this is PvP, the matchup where you can proxy half of your base somewhere random on the map. So I feel like this is gonna be 1-1. Incredibly unpredictable. Goat Puncher is gonna like get a swing in and win a game easily, and then completely fuck up the second game randomly. This is my prediction. Mark, I was right with the first prediction. That as much as I wanted Enpo to win, I unfortunately didn't feel that it was gonna go that way. And this one, I'm doubling down. This, like, I'm 200% sure that's exactly how it's gonna go.
Man, is Lorimbo just gonna basically be the prophet that all things Protoss needed to just predict everything correctly every single time? I'm really loving this new character arc for Lorimbo here. So yeah, we're going to be going into the GP Rambuzz game, not Gombuzz. It's actually titled as Gombuzz in one of these replays here. Nice job, Eiger. But yeah, so we're expecting kind of unexpected things, actually, because we're not really sure exactly what's going to happen, but we'll hopefully get some entertaining matches, no less. So Lorimbo, thank you for your amazing and animated insight as always. We will get back to you in just a little bit after this series.
See you later.
Wonderful. All right, Dactyl, are you ready for the second match here?
I'm ready.
It's awesome. I'm also super ready. Yeah, hopefully this match is at least slightly longer than that other one, while despite it being, kind of entertaining, it wasn't that entertaining to be honest, so I would like to get a little bit longer of a game here.
Yeah, on the first game on Royal Blood, neither player did any shenanigans with the gold base, which is a little bit unfortunate. Anyways, spawning in the top left-hand side is Rhombus, and spawning in the bottom right-hand side is Goat Puncher. And again, Gemini, which teams are these players playing for again?
So, thankfully everyone remembered the colors this time. So, orange is Eiger, red is Enpo.
Got it. All right.
Oh no. Hold up. Okay, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, so both high ground pylon wall offs looks to be the same thing. Standard 2-gate opener, no shenanigans. Well, Rhombus not chronoing his probes. Now that's a massive difference right there. He's late. Okay, I was gonna ask Gemini. I mean, what can we take away from this?
Yeah, we can take away the fact that he is bad.
All right.
So yeah, unfortunate little mishap there. But I mean, if he doesn't do the next one though, then that can actually start to indicate some form. Why I've set my settings or whatever. That could actually, basically, I just lost my train of thought. That can indicate that he's going for some sort of early aggression because he might try to do a double chrono on the 2 gateways and whatnot, saving up that 1 extra chrono boost. But not doing the first one, there's really no reason ever to do that. But yeah, both players are going to be going for a 2-gate opener, like we had just said, which is surprising as well. It's just there's not that much 1-gate expands happening on these 1-gate expand maps in the ATP Team League. It seems like a lot of these players just really prefer to go for the 2-gate expands regardless.
I think in the meta, the 1-gate expand has slowly been falling out of favor. I think in the past year or so, more players have kind of walked away, understanding how to respond to it, how to prevent it from being too much of an economic advantage, and how to really penetrate it either through some sort of pressure or just a flat-out all-in. So I wouldn't be surprised if 2-gate starts becoming the norm again. But anyways, we have our first major difference. 2 Stalkers with 2 Chronos for Goat Puncher, and 2 Adepts without Chronos for Rhombus.
Yeah,
and Rhombus has not gotten Warp Gate yet, so this could be there's Warp Gate. I need to bite my tongue here.
Yeah, we are now in a slightly lower pool, of course. We've got we had the captains playing last time, which will make it a little bit more crisp in the builds, but now we're back over down to, I think this is the pool 3 match? I could be wrong. But yeah, we are a little bit lower in MMR now, so there will be a couple little mistakes here and there, but it's all for fun. Go Puncher is actually proxying a gateway as well, and will actually find the 2 Adepts out in the middle, but is actually going to push them over to actually scout the proxy. So a bit unfortunate from Go Puncher there, doing the correct thing to a fault, and then making him just lose his element of surprise here. So that's a bit unfortunate for him. I wonder if how much he's going to actually commit.
There it is. Okay. Go
Will he
Puncher
kind
gets
of back
battery
off?
in time.
I really hate that my freaking thing is not muted. I'm sorry. All the stream chat watching, there's the Vulcan chat going off right now. Actually, can I leave?
Go Puncher is going to find one of the Adepts and kill one, so now this Adept pressure is significantly weakened. And as far as this proxy goes, now Go Puncher has to defend it, although it seems like Rhombus, he's kind of just waiting. He's got a battery, 3 Stalkers at home, and he's just going to expand behind that. Go Puncher is going to be ahead in the expansion, and he needs to cancel this battery. He does not cancel the battery, so now he's hardwalled in. Don't think that's the right move, but I don't think it's the end of the world. Battery, of course, pretty easy to deal with. But anyways, here comes the move out, and let's see how this goes.
Yeah, he's going right up here. The battery is fully online, so that's going to be pretty good. And the Void Ray response out of Rambuz, having scouted the Proxy Gate, will give him a pretty good cemented defensive position here. So I'd be surprised if Go Puncher really even tries to go up anymore. I mean, he will eventually get the critical mass of Stalkers to one-shot under the battery onto the other Stalkers, which could then allow him to just kind of steamroll it if the Void Ray is left alone at that point, because there is an Oracle already being made by Rambuz here. So there is a moment for Go Puncher if he wanted to, but it doesn't seem like he actually feels the need to really pressure that, as his Nexus is faster. Like you said, though, he did wall himself in, so he can't actually transfer his probes just yet, so he's not quite seeing the full economic benefit of this expansion just yet. So it's basically going to be pretty even once the... Well, actually, Go Puncher's been making probes constantly this whole time, so never mind. He's going to be super far ahead.
He's oversaturated on his main, but he does have a significant probe lead. So as soon as he transfers those probes, which he's just now doing, he will start to realize that economic benefit. Meanwhile, Rhombus is starting up Blink, and Go Puncher does not even have a Twilight.
Very true. He is a bit late on that, but given the fact that he tried to go for a little bit more aggressive opening, it makes sense. He went for the Stargate as a response instead. The Oracle from Mount Rhombus is going to find absolutely 0 damage, just gets a revelation on it, and has to force to get out there, while Go Puncher himself has gone for an Oracle, and it only just got scouted by that revelation, and so the battery is not quite going to be in time. So if Go Puncher wants, he could try to go through these Stalkers and try to get a few kills, but also not quite paying attention to the Oracle at the exact same time, so they both take essentially the same situation, which is a bit unfortunate for Go Puncher, because he really did have an opportunity there if he was paying attention.
Yeah, definitely. And now what I'm wondering is, how is this game going to play out? With both of them on 2 bases, we're starting to see a divergence. Rhombus is taking an earlier third than Go Puncher, kind of the reverse of the previous situation. But in terms of tech, I don't know if Go Puncher's move is correct here. I mean, he does need Blink, but Rhombus is just going to be ahead with the Blink anyways. So Rhombus can... I guess do some blink pressure if he wants to. Go Puncher seems to be content with just blink stalkers, but I don't know how effective it'll be if his blink is later than Rhombus's.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where you kind of just need it. It's like such a necessity in PvP that if you don't get it, it's going to kind of cause some problems later on. So even if you are going to be a bit later on it, you can just play defensive a little bit until you actually have your blink finished, and then you'll basically be fine. But you do want that mobility, especially if the game does eventually go longer and it goes into the Disruptor Wars. You really do need blink to help maneuver around the map with that, and to dodge disruptor shots and whatnot, and to blink and snipe the disruptors as well. So it's just like it's like Stim almost in PvP, where it's like you need to get this upgrade essentially.
Sure. Now, while it's been going on, Go Puncher has been probing a bit better than Rhombus. A while ago, he had a lead of 7 probes. Now that's at 12 probes. So Go Puncher definitely with a solid economic lead. I would kind of like to see some more gateways come out. Both players, I believe, are on 3. I think that's a bit low for 3 base economy that they're going on. So they can definitely ramp that up and start, trading a bit more aggressively rather than these short pokes. And there's a massive blink forward. I don't know if Go Puncher has it. He might.
Yeah, there's a lot of stalkers here. The battery overcharge wasn't quite ready in time, and he's even just going to snipe it away and then blink right back. The problem is that his warp in point is a little bit far away, but it is still a proxied pylon, so it is actually still kind of close compared to the base, though. So, I mean, Go Puncher, his advantage in this game was, even though his blink was later, his economy was ramping up way faster, and so he just has more units coming into this. So the opportunity for Rhombus wasn't even there to make use of that faster blink, and now Go Puncher is finding a way to get back onto that aggressive side. But given the fact that it is still relatively close, Rhombus will be able to mount enough Stalkers of a defense to push Go Puncher away for now.
Right, and although we're watching these 2 Stalker armies, I just have to comment, Go Puncher, yes, he's got the probe lead, but he's doubly saturated on his naturals. He's not actually realizing that much of an income benefit. If you actually look at the income tab, he's only mining about 300 more minerals, and he's even in gas. So, I think what's happening here is something I like to do in my games, where you just hold down the probe key, but you don't actually pay attention to the rally points, and you don't actually know what your economy is like. So props for building the probes, but you gotta kind of spread them out a little bit.
Yeah, it is true, but regardless, he does still have a 3-base saturation, so having the larger probe count as well will just kind of help it be easier to get a 4th base anyway. But this is actually going to be a sick blink from Go Puncher. Getting the vision from his Oracle will get in and snipe the +2 of Rombuzz. That's actually going to be massive, considering the fact that Go Puncher was actually behind on the upgrades to begin with, which will now allow him to even it up and then even get ahead if Rombuzz does not get the Forge back online very soon. I mean, Go Puncher's got to get out of here, though, because he might overstay his welcome a little bit, but that is a very big move for him if he does want to prolong this game into a later stage. But he's still a bit behind on his 4th base timing, so while he does have this sick probe count, which, like we were just talking about, if you can't actually use it properly, then it's not even going to find the best value of what you've tried to go in for.
And I just want to comment now, at this point, both of them do have +1. Rhombus had it a bit earlier, but now the upgrades are evened up. Rhombus is going to build double Forge, and Go Puncher, I don't know where his Forge is. There it is. It's just starting +2. I would like to see more gates being produced from, honestly, both of them. Rhombus actually had a lead for a little bit with 7 gates, but now with Go Puncher at 6, that's not a very significant lead. By the way, one of those gates is depowered, so Go Puncher really only has 5 warp gates. He's just getting 4 more online right this moment, so good job, Go Puncher, reading my mind. And we're seeing some pressure on the 4th base here. Is he going to get it? He should, and he does. And I think Go Puncher can now just walk away, chill for a little bit. I think. I don't know how many stalkers are going to get picked off.
I'm very confused as to why he didn't continue to blink away. I mean, you can't exactly just walk away versus blink stalkers, so you do have to actually blink away from them as well. So he did lose quite a few on the back end there. Charge is finished, though, and he does have quite a lot of them, as well as an Immortal, so I think he should be okay, as long as he doesn't get choked up here. That Immortal gets one-shotted, which is pretty rough. But I mean, this engagement is such an awkward position for Go Puncher, but the charge lots are doing quite a bit of work at this point, so he will not die to this. So overall, I mean, it was costly, and the base from Rombuzz does kind of just get put up right immediately afterwards, so I'm not quite sure if this is overall a good move for Go Puncher.
Yeah, I think Go Puncher is a bit of a tricky situation here, because he, on paper, is doing better, right? He's got the higher supply, he's got the higher worker count, but in reality, he's kind of constrained and is having trouble securing these expansions. He canceled his 4th, but he really needs it because his workers are... He's at 29 out of 8 on his natural. He's better off just distance mining at this point to really get that economy advantage. Meanwhile, shields are going to finish soon. I'm not sure why we're getting shields, but I guess it's important. I don't know. Maybe you can comment there, Gemini.
Yeah, I mean, shields is overall, it's kind of like in PvP, it can become pretty good because you might end up getting like a lot more Archons and stuff like that. Like armor, it's like debatable as if it's more worth it than armor in certain situations, but I mean, I don't really mind it that much. It's just so rare that you even have double Forge in PvP to begin with, so it's like, as long as he's doing something, it's fine. And I mean, yeah, you were kind of hitting it pretty hard on the head there. It's like Go Puncher's got 86 frickin' probes right now, but he's on 3 bases with them, so it's like, it's literally not even, it doesn't even give him any advantage at this point. So it's really difficult for him to find a 4th base for some reason. I'm not really sure why. I mean, he's had some space to do it in multiple times this game, but he just has not been able to actually get that one secured. He is going for an engagement over on the right side. Not all of his army is attacking. He does have a Warp Prism going off into the main base as well, trying to snipe off the Disruptor tech, which was made by Rombuzz as well, but he's not exactly taking a favorable fight over on the right, and the Zealots over on the top in the main base. While they do kill the Disruptor, the Robo Bay, there's already a few Disruptors out, so, I mean, it's hitting a little bit late, and he's still down all these bases. He's not actually taking a 4th base while pressuring out on the map at all, so the longer this goes, Go Puncher is going to be finding himself in a much harder and harder position to actually take any favorable engages.
Yeah, Ramos is immediately rebuilding that robotics bay, but he already has the disruptors out. And if I check the production tab, Go Puncher is not building any disruptors, even though his robo bay has been finished for a while. He's still making immortals. He's got one disruptor in the queue. While this is happening, this engagement, it's just Rhombus keeps winning these fights by a small margin. And if you win by a small margin once, two times, three times, four times, your army is just going to get so big. And I think that's what we're seeing happening now. Now the supply situation has reversed. Go Puncher is in the hole by about 20 supply. And remember, he's got the probe lead. So in terms of army supply, he's even lower.
Yeah, and I mean, this is going to be a pretty tough engagement. The blink up to try and snipe the disruptors is not going to be a success, and when you blink up into a bunch of zealots, it's also going to be a bit hard. But surprisingly, I mean, I thought he was going to just immediately die right there, but somehow the army supplies stayed somewhat even in that fight. Problem for Rhombus is that he doesn't actually have a prism with this, so his warpins are coming a little bit later, so the reinforcing zealots from Go Puncher were able to kind of help him stay in it right there, but I mean, he's still not even trying to take a fourth base. The problem is that now that he's been sitting on this 3 base for so long, with so many probes, it's actually mined him out so fast that now he's stuck in a position where he can't even afford to make a fourth base because he's trying to use every mineral and gas he can to actually get units out. And I mean, he's just going to be stuck in this situation until he can eventually make himself just take a fourth base. There's a freaking 6th coming up from Rhombus over here that's going to be totally uncontested. And I mean, Go Puncher, you gotta I don't know. He doesn't seem like he knows exactly what he wants to do at this point. He kind of got stuffed in this awkward position, and he hasn't found a way out of it yet.
Yeah, he is just now taking the 4th at the linear 3rd position. If we recall, his triangle 4th was canceled like 6-7 minutes ago. We're at the point where, Gemini, I'm thinking, how about a pro pull just to have a bit more of a oomph with his army. I mean, these 35 probes mining, that they're not all mining, only 2 of them are, and the rest are in the queue. I don't know. I mean, his income's about a third right now of what a Rhombus is. Rhombus can basically do whatever he wants, I feel. I would not mind starting +1 air, getting a fleet beacon going. He's got the economy to support that transition, and with the larger army, I don't think he needs to be afraid. Go Puncher, meanwhile, he needs to make something happen because he is just losing harder and harder every minute this game goes by.
Yeah, it's a good idea to even start the transition, like you're saying. But I mean, yeah, Rhombus can really do anything at this point. It looks like he's going to try to actually just find this army finally and just kind of, okay, never mind. He's not going to go for it. I thought he was trying to set up a 6th around there with the units, but will continue to back off. Doesn't seem to really understand just how far ahead he actually is.
Yeah.
It is still very wary of going for a big engagement. I mean, disruptors can always change a fight pretty drastically. If you just get 1 or 2 shots on top of your army in an unfortunate way, I mean, things can swing pretty heavily. But, I mean, he's got a 4K freaking bank here, and he's got a whole 12 gateways to go with it. Go Puncher can't even keep his supply. He literally can't even afford to get his continuous 12 warpins going. So Rhombus should be realizing that he's sitting on 6 bases right now and has not been losing a fight for the last 3 or 4 minutes, and should realize that maybe, just maybe, we can start trading a little bit more here.
Right, and with 8 disruptors and 2 more that just finished in his base for a total of 10, I'm really wondering what Rhombus is scared of here. We're kind of reaching the point with the bank and with the infrastructure. Rhombus could take a terrible engagement, trade really inefficiently, and then remax his entire army and come back for a 2nd round and then just win that 2nd round handedly because Go Puncher can't. But we're seeing the engagement right now. There was 1 decent disruptor hit, I would say, and he's just pushing this army back. Go Puncher is on the move command, so those immortals are not firing as they retreat. That's a classic move I see happen very often. And we're going to see this in game. No, we're not. I was going to say the choke could be a place where the fight happens, but looks like we're not going to do that. And that... Oof. Yeah, that blink didn't happen in time.
Yeah, I mean, that other shot from Go Puncher earlier was honestly the best he could have gotten, getting so many of the disruptors, which is what Rombuz was kind of worried about. But I mean, that just kind of goes to show exactly what we were talking about, where even though that one huge hit does happen, it doesn't even matter because Rombuz has just got so much freaking stuff. And yeah, he will take the first game in a pretty crazy little gamer, starting off with a proxy 3 gate, by the way, which is how that whole game started out.
Yeah, that was a very interesting game. Definitely we can talk about it more on the analyst desk, but for now, why don't we get started with game 2, Gemini?
Yeah, boy, that's what we're doing. Can't wait to see if Mr. Goat Puncher can bring this back a little bit. But if Rombuz does kind of 2-0 this right here, then that would actually put us into a 2-2 situation, which makes the final scheduled match all that more interesting. Wrong score? No, Lorimbo? No, that is not correct. Wait, Rombuz is... Oh wait, no, you're right, never mind. I'm totally wrong. Yeah, you're right. Wait up. I forgot that Rombuz is actually on Team Eiger. You're right. Never mind. So, actually, this would be good if Go Puncher can win, so that way we can get the series to be more interesting. Otherwise, if Rombuz closes us out, then we are actually in a situation of a 4-0, which would be the first time that we actually have a 4-0 happen in the All Things Roadhouse Team League.
Exciting stuff.
Thank you, Mr. Lorimbo, for being on my ass there. Alright, the second map is coming in here. It is going to be Grezvin as the pick here out of Goat Puncher. Grezvin has actually been getting picked very frequently as the second map in a lot of these series in these couple weeks that we've been playing the ATP Team League. Obviously going to be one of the biggest maps, the most important, or the most favored maps, as it is just kind of an all-around standard and liked map by a lot of people.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of people in the professional StarCraft community comment about how this is actually one of the better designed maps that they've seen in a while. I'm not entirely certain what their criteria is. I know of a few things. I know Terrans really like this siege tank spot in front of the natural. I think what makes this map really interesting is that you have your linear third option, triangle third option, and you also have this kind of forward base, which I don't really know what you would even call that. But I think it adds for some interesting gameplay. Definitely can help with some interesting decisions if you want to vary your gameplay and vary, how you take fights and things like that. So I think, at a higher level, this map gives people a lot of flexibility, which I think is why they really like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an overall good map as well. Like, there's no watchtowers, which a lot of times can be a little bit limiting in how you might want to play. It's like, if the watchtowers are too, if they feel like a little too oppressive with how much vision they can actually take, it can be a little difficult to actually move around on the map. This one's got no watchtowers. The different attack paths are very set. There's different ways that you can even go about the attack paths, even different ways, like on the bottom by the fourth base, there's different paths you can take. So it's like, there's a lot of ways you can even just go around the map, and all the bases are quite spread out in a correct fashion. It's just, I don't know, it's just a freaking good map. I love playing on this map personally myself. It's just a very solid one. Whoever made this map is, you should just keep making more maps that just exactly like it, to be honest.
So, Go Puncher has proxied a pylon, but he's not placed anything at this pylon, so this could be trying to get Rombuz to overreact if he's not going to actually build anything there. Alternatively, he could just be some sort of tech that he's going to place a bit later. We're going to have to wait and see. Two Stalkers are out on the map for both players, and they're going to meet in the middle of the map, I think. Nope, Rombuz actually has a queue to go scout for proxies. I don't kind of like the fact that both of them are moving together, because now they're going to miss each other, and these Stalkers from Go Punchers, they're going to do a little bit of damage.
Yeah, they can easily cancel this shield battery here, as the other two units are not quite ready yet, and we'll be able to do that. The Stalkers from Rombuz will kind of get a little flank here, so they will at least push them away. So overall not the biggest deal, but it will kind of set Rumbuzz in an awkward spot here because he wasn't able to actually scout anything because obviously he saw the lacking pylon, but Go Puncher isn't actually even doing anything with that pylon anyway. Like you said, it is just entirely to mind game him, which actually used to be an extremely popular tactic back in like 2019 when the proxy meta was at its full force. There would be a lot of these fake proxies as well to really just make it so your opponent has no idea what exactly is happening. And I mean, you can see that Rumbuzz is really taking the bait here. He's getting a third gateway. He's making sure that his batteries are finished before any Nexus gets put down. And Go Puncher is going to be way ahead on the Nexus here. So it's going to be a really good, nice spot for Go Puncher. His mind game worked out perfectly.
Rumbuzz had a probe that's been scouting the bottom left-hand side of the map this whole time. It just now stopped. So he is still very much concerned. Two Adepts are about to nope, Rumbuzz stops that just in time. And these Adepts are going to get a whole lot of nothing done. By the way, I do want to comment, Rumbuzz had the Twilight for about a minute now, but he only just now starts Blink. I kind of feel like that's a little bit of a wasted opportunity. I would have liked to see Blink before a third gateway. I mean, I would like to see both, but I would like to see the Blink actually started earlier is my point, if he's just going to get that Twilight. But, I don't know, maybe he's just very concerned about some sort of pressure or all-in hitting, and it just never hit. Now, Go Puncher's going to get the Proxy Gateway, so this is definitely... This is a game, you know? We're gaming right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That proxy gate timing is a little bit strange, but the Oracle actually also gets into the main base, and Rumbuzz has had no idea that this has been getting built up back in the main base of Go Puncher, as he did not open for any sentries, so he wasn't able to actually get any scout deeper into the main base, and I mean, that's an 8-probe deficit after already being down on the Nexus as well. I mean, if last game was a decent spot for Go Puncher, this one is an absolutely insane position. And if he manages to throw this one, then I am, yeah, I don't know. I feel like he should just kind of leave the Discord in shame almost.
Yeah, Go Puncher definitely with a stronger economy, getting Blink, but in terms of infrastructure, what does he have? 2 gateways, 1 Stargate. Stargate's not even producing. Or sorry, 3 gateways, including the proxy. He's kind of doing the same thing as last game, where he's probing aggressively. He's making sure his eco is up to snuff, but he's not really being very aggressive, and he's not really showing any aggression.
Well, I mean, the Oracle killed 8 probes. I mean, that alone will already just that literally wins him the game essentially. So the Stargate has already been more than worth it. The third base timing, given the openers, is pretty normal. I mean, I would have rathered him get it a little bit earlier. He seems to be kind of prioritizing just a couple more extra units here and there, but that's not the biggest deal. Like, he already has a pretty decent advantage, and he's maybe a little bit concerned that Rumbuzz might try to go for some sort of aggression to try to counteract that and kind of get some of his position back in the game. But he is just kind of building up for a big Stalker count, as the Blink was delayed given the fact that he went Stargate first. So that is what he's been waiting for, and now that he got that initial probe lead, he's now ready to try and double down on that by going with a huge Stalker attack into the natural that did not get scouted, with a double Oracle back in the main as well, which is not exactly doing as well as I would have expected it to, but it's an interesting stasis attempt there. It does actually get 4 probes. Not sure how that happened, but
yeah,
I mean, yeah.
Rumbuzz's army was slightly out of position there, but he thankfully only lost 2 probes, so not the end of the world.
Yeah, but the problem is that he's just... anything that he loses at this point is still going to be bad for him, because he's already taken such heavy damage from the initial openers that, yeah, sure, it's only 2 probes, but it's on top of another 8 from before and a later Nexus, so it's like, you gotta, at one point, just stop taking damage. Nice little Blink micro to get the Stasis Ward trigger there. Nicely done by Rumbuzz, but... Go Puncher is still here with his Stalkers. Blinks 1 Stalker forward. Not sure what that was, but it doesn't quite matter, as his Stalker count is simply higher. Rumbuzz will have a battery to blink back to, so that will at least help give some sustain in this fight. But if he wants to actually defend this third base, he's going to have to walk away from it, and that's when the problem is going to start to happen here, as everything starts to melt for him. But as, again, it seems like what am I talking about? The Blink micro is not that great from Go Puncher.
Go Puncher lost 1 Stalker, and Rumbuzz lost 4. but he is, he's still got the battery. He can definitely get another battery down. It's still kind of even. I want to say Go Puncher's in the lead because he's
Yes.
got that third base more saturated than Ramba's, but I don't know. These fights, they don't seem to be going in one direction noticeably. So I'm not sure what these players are thinking. I'm not sure if Go Puncher is thinking, I've got this. I just need to get my upgrades, get my tech, and then I can go for one massive attack. Or if Rambas is thinking, this is a pretty even game because neither of us are really killing each other. Be very curious to see how they're analyzing this game. But Go Puncher coming in from the same angle as before. Rambas' army's out of position again. Go Puncher takes the battery and then he blinks away. He's also got a probe in the same control group, I think. And, his stalkers are going to get caught right now. Not responding still. Still not respond. Okay, there's the blink backward. And Go Puncher now at a army deficit, I believe. Or, well, at a stalker deficit. This Immortal is... Alright, well, that was a little bit unfortunate for Go Puncher. Definitely recoverable, though. Not the end of the world.
Yeah, but I mean, yet again, we're finding ourselves in a situation where Go Puncher, after having an unbelievable lead in the early game, is having a hard time finding any way to really either just win it or even to try and like make steps to get towards an end game here. Because I mean, his aggression, while it's like a little annoying here and there, he is ending up not actually coming out ahead on the trades there. He, blinks back, but then kind of is just caught by the random stalkers of Rambas, doesn't quite react in time, then he gets losing many units to him. So, I mean, we have to get an actual favorable engage out of Go Puncher for him to actually make use of this lead that he's given himself. He does have charge now, which will make it a little bit easier to fight against this pure stalker army of Rambas, but
Also, DTs are out on the map. Go Puncher's Dark Shrine finished, and he's got 2 DTs, so we're gonna have to see how much damage this can do, because if these take out 2 mineral lines, the game ends.
Yeah, this is definitely that damage that Go Puncher's been looking for. And combined with the fact that there's an engagement happening at the top side, this is actually perfect for Go Puncher. It's so difficult to split your attention to deal with DTs while also trying to micro an engagement at the top. So this is going to be really freaking bad for Rambas here if he's not able to micromanage this properly, multitask. And I mean, this DT in the Nat alone is already getting an insane amount of kills, but them together have gotten a combined 21 kills, which is absolutely
14 kills in the Nat.
Got to be the game.
And
damage,
Rampa's
right?
with the overreaction of 4 cannons all in one spot. I don't think this is the play. Would have liked to see maybe 2 spread out a little bit to cover the mineral line. But I'll say the intent is probably correct. But yeah, this is really unfortunate. So I don't know. I think Rambas kind of has to just go all at once. I mean, does he recover from that at all?
I mean, this is going to be... I don't even know what you can do. I mean, he's getting a Dark Shrine himself, which is going to be the Desperation Shrine there to try and get some other counter damage done eventually. But, I mean, the problem here is that he put all of his cannons in the same freaking spot. Like, he didn't even set them off on different bases here. So the DTs are still going to be able to get crazy damage done because the cannons are all just in the same exact spot. He's forcing his entire army is being forced to sit here with a DT to try and body block it, while the rest of Go Puncher's army is killing the third base. And only now is he able to go ahead and try to combat that. It doesn't matter because there's charge slots all up in his face. I mean, Go Puncher, if you can't end this game, I literally don't even know what game you can fucking end, because this is just the most insane lead we've seen yet.
So let's try to play it out from Rambas' perspective. What advantages does he have here? He's got an upgrade advantage. +2 to +1. End of list.
Yes.
So, yeah, I'm with you. Maybe here's the thing. Maybe Go Puncher thinks, if I had to, like, think about this, I can damage my opponent, but I can't actually kill my opponent. Maybe that's what's going through his mind. So, if that's the case, maybe Go Puncher would want to just wait to get some disruptors. Maybe a couple oracles for revelations. Oh, never mind. There's the GG. Go Puncher. He finally made it happen.
Yep. Finally found an engagement that will actually swing it more towards his favor, and he will get that 1-1 even score. So he does not allow Team Eiger to walk away with a 4-0, so he is still in the situation to bring it to an ace match, which could technically happen. So it's going to be very interesting to see if we can get all the way there. We, though, are going to drag our wonderful favorite Italian back into the fray of things, back to our analysis desk
Hello,
with Lorimbo. Hello, Lorimbo.
Hello.
What did you think about that amazing PvP series that we just saw?
Bro, I have so many things to say. So first off, let me play this real quick. So the great... well, this was not ideal. Yeah, bit of technical problem there. So first off, great job God Puncher for snapping the Eiger combo. Secondly, once again predicting the result correctly as 1-1, and it went exactly like I said. So God Puncher manages to get into incredibly winning position both games. One of them just punches and kills the opponent. Even though there's a bit of struggle there too, apparently. Not really sure what happened there.
Yeah.
The first one is just, devolves into a 20-minute slow fest. And then this Raptor gets involved and everything goes to shit. Classical PvP. Average PvP model. Even though I don't play PvP because I don't play Protoss, I still know that's what goes on. But let's talk about the game specifically. So first game, insane mind game from God Puncher. Goes for the 3 gate with a proxy, moves the Stalker, so the adept from sorry, fuck my life. Let's just call him Goat because he got punched. So I'm gonna call the other guy Goat. So he moves the adept into scouting the 3rd gate, but that was all part of the mind game because immediately after that he uses the probe that got stuck outside of his base to make a nexus and gets ahead. Like that's how fucking big is your brain to do that? That's like 400 IQ shit, right? And then let's not talk about how that game actually goes from there, because I feel like it should be a moral victory, Like once you get into that position, you can basically say, I've done everything in life. I won the game, I deserve this, and if I lose this, it's just because my opponent was cheating. That's the philosophy that I feel he should approach it with. I'm not so sure about his engagement style. He seems to be slightly passive in the sense that he has like the most winning engage ever, and then he just randomly escapes for no reason at all. This happens in both games. But I'm gonna pass the word to Dactyl. What did you think about the games?
Well,
yeah.
I thought these 2 games, this is what PvP is all about, It's about the mind games. It's about the proxy into getting your opponent to scout the proxy by microing their units there. It's by, building the adept wall, but then letting the battery finish so that you're walled in, even though you have more probes, so you can't get the eco lead that we're spending time investing in. This is what makes PvP great. Seeing all the variations and the nuances and all of the, let's just say, special situations that can occur.
Yes, I'm not gonna. Sorry, because I saw a sick commentary for the game number 2, which was even better. Because right now I have a list in front of me of all of the punches that were thrown during this game. So punch number 1, another great mind game with the proxy pylon, the completely useless proxy pylon, mind you, but once again getting his next like 20 seconds earlier than his opponent. So already the mind game at the start is already insane. It's already working. Then we have punch number 2. When your opponent least expects it, go for a Oracle. Gets 8 kills with that Oracle, and at that point his opponent is already coping hard. 20 probes ahead. His third is like later than his opponent anyway for some reason, but let's not talk about it. Let's not focus on that. And then he goes for punch number 3, the quote-unquote blink all in. I'm quoting it because despite having 20 more probes, he also had 20 more stalkers that somehow feels the need to taunt his opponent. So I think he was trying to search for the high ground morally, like the moral victory too, not only the actual victory in game, but also the psychological warfare one. So instead of just moving and winning the game, he goes for the double oracle in the main and into taking a stroll into the opponent natural, into bringing out and losing a bunch of stalkers for no reason. That is psychological warfare at its finest. You can see that his opponent was broken after that. Like, nothing was ever the same. And then he goes for punch number 4, pretending to throw again by taking multiple strolls, random spots in the map, and hemorrhaging units. But then going for punch number 5, the dark shine. So God Puncher knows the old saying, when behind, go Darkshine. And he realizes in his infinite wisdom that if going Darkshine wins you a game in which you are behind, then surely it is even better while you're ahead. So he goes for a random Darkshine and just please the DT. And that gets him the victory. 5 punches for an amazing game. I have nothing else to say.
Wow. Well, Lorimbo, I think that's some of the best analysis we've ever had on the desk. Yeah, I didn't realize that Go Puncher's name had so much meaning to it that really manifested in the game itself. You're absolutely on point with the psychological warfare. That's a whole other dimension to StarCraft that really doesn't get covered as much. We as casters, Gemini, we kind of have to focus on, the units and the structures and the positioning and the economy, but the psychological aspect, that's the whole other side of things that really doesn't get covered.
Bro, I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, Lorimbo, that has just got to be the greatest analysis that I've ever heard, ever.
I know.
I'm
a god at PvP.
I can't even. I don't even know what to say anymore. But Jesus Christ, that was just so succinct and so perfect. Anyways, wow. So yeah, we're gonna be going into the next match, which is going to be Guitar King versus Bull Mjolnir, which will be another PvP. So it's going to be our third PvP of the night here, which is, Lorimbo's been so fucking on point with it so far. I mean, one more we gotta see. I mean, what's your prediction? You said your Guitar King is just so freaking good.
Yeah, Guitar King is really good at the game. Now, the moment I say this, I'm going to immediately be proven wrong. But I feel like it must be 2-0 for Guitar King. Because he's actually a scary opponent. I wouldn't be confident in myself playing against him. So, scary opponent. I've never played Bulm personally. I do know that he's quite high rated, but I just have so much trust in Guitar King.
Nice.
But wait, I have a question though.
Sure.
Do they have to play both games?
Yes, they play both games
what.
regardless.
Okay, so it can be 5-1 because I predicted 5-1, but then I realized that once they get to 4, it's technically already won. So I'm not sure if the last game gets played anyway.
It does. So it could be a 5-1. Yes, that's possible.
Okay. Perfect.
Tactile. What do you think? 1-1-2-0. What do you think?
So, I mean, again, the coin toss said 4-2, so this would probably be a 1-1 if the coins were correct. But it could be. I'm thinking Lorimbo might have some inside knowledge here that I was not aware of. So, I'm not going to change my prediction, but I wouldn't be surprised if Lorimbo ends up being the great prophet of the ATP Discord.
Yeah, I mean, things are lining up to really go that way. I would be amazed to see it happen. Well, we are going to be heading into this next series. We'll come back and join you, Lorimbo, in a little bit after it's done. Thank you for your incredible content. We'll be right back with you soon. Get him out of here. I can't click anything. Bye-bye. All right, there we go. Holy moly. Wow, that was the fucking funniest thing I've ever heard. That was incredible. Yeah. I really hope you guys were able to clip that insane monologue, but regardless, it'll be able to clip it off of the YouTube VOD anyway. Holy crap. Dactyl, you need to leave the replay, though, so we can host the next one, just by the way.
Oops.
No problem. Holy crap. So yeah, we're going to be going into our next match here, which will be, like we just said, Guitar King versus Bull Mjolnir. And yeah, I mean, Guitar King has been getting hyped up pretty heavily by Lorimbo here. I'm actually, it sounds pretty cool that he's getting such big praise out of him, because it was, He said he was having a little bit of a hard time, Guitar King did, in the Discord earlier. But yeah, so we'll see exactly what ends up happening here with our next series, as we are now into the game.
So spawning in the top right-hand side of Ancient Cistern is Guitar King, and spawning in the bottom left is Bullmealja, right?
Yes,
That's it?
Bullmealja.
Okay, good. All right.
Which apparently is the Korean word for immortal, or something else. Bill, he actually wasn't sure, but he thinks it's the Korean word for an immortal.
All right. Well, what do you think about this map, Gemini? I think this is a great map because of the tile set.
Oh.
What say you?
That's actually a very based opinion, because I also think the exact same thing. Because before this map, there was actually such a shortage of jungle maps. Like, the green jungle maps were so non-existent in our map pools for a really long time. And I was actually saying the exact same thing, that I did want a jungle map back in the map pool, because, yeah, I was missing that. Like the old days of Whirlwind, or the Shattered, or the Tal'Darim Altar from way back, so I really did miss those jungle maps. So yeah, I actually think of the exact same thing. I think it's also just a really good map in general as well. I just like it. It's similar to Gresvin, where it's just the setup. The base layout is super good. It's not too big, it's not too small. No watchtowers, again, make it so that way it's it kind of forces you to contest space and not rely on the watchtowers to give you vision. So there's just a lot of room for diversity and whatnot. So overall, I always the Gresvin and Sister are like tied basically for my favorite map this season.
Yeah, I agree. I really like this map, like the layout. Anyways, so the first major difference, Guitar King proxying a pylon, and Bullmealja is not. He's opening up with double stalkers, whereas Guitar King's opening up with double adepts, so this would likely be a Stargate. There it is. And we're gonna see how much damage this proxy Stargate can do. Hopefully not that much. Hopefully we do see the battery in the mineral line on time to negate any of that. Guitar King getting his third pylon. Bullmealja is scouting, but he's scouting on the wrong side, so he's not going to see this proxy with that probe. Meanwhile, this scout probe from Guitar King is going to be denied. And it looks like it's going to be tech before any kind of expansion for Bullmealja, so he's playing it safe. Although that Robo is not going to do a whole lot against whatever comes out of the Stargate, which will be an Oracle.
It's actually super unfortunate as well for Bullmealja. He's been scouting so much, and his probe on the right side literally just barely missed the proxy on the low ground there. It's in a pretty awkward spot, the proxy, but if he was just slightly more to the left, he would have seen it from the high ground, which is super unfortunate. And even the adepts are going to get straight in. Nice force field, though, to keep them away from the mineral line, but it will force him to lose the adept and then the two probes that were pulled as well. So things are already going bad for Bullmealja here before the actual proxy really reveals itself. He does already have a shield battery, so he is kind of covering his bases in that regard because he doesn't know exactly what it is. He's doing an all-around response with a Immortal to defend in case it's some sort of ground aggression, and then he's also got the battery in the main in case it is Proxy Oracle. But Guitar King, being the absolute leader, oh my god, the probe again just misses it by a pixel! Dude, Bullmealja is going to be literally so freaking... He's got the whole map scouted, and he cannot actually find this thing, and now he's going to get slapped in the fucking face with a double Oracle into win strategy. Oh man, this is going to be absolutely awful for him.
Yeah, these Oracles can do serious damage. That battery is not going to be able to heal through as long as these attacks are synced up. And the Stalkers are not in position either, so it's going to force a recall, I believe. Looks to be just a warp in, but that can't be enough.
Yeah, and it is not enough because these Oracles are just going absolutely uncontested. 11, 12, 13, 14 probes even, and not a single Oracle gets lost either. I mean, Lorimbo is just the absolute prophet right now and just completely predicting everything the most perfect way you can ever imagine because this is absolutely a dumpster fest so far from Guitar King.
Yeah, I mean that proxy location, props to him. You know, the thing about proxy locations, you kind of.
Oops. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. Keep going.
That's fine. You can't. It's almost one of these things where if it doesn't make sense to you, then it makes sense where it's placed. The less sense it makes, the better of a proxy it is. Because I mean, the oracles are going back in the main. Hold that thought. 5, 6. Are we gonna get a 6? Well, we're not. They're gonna run out of energy. Yeah, this is just a complete doozy. We're at 10 probes. If he doesn't go now, he has lost the game. And
He
I think
already is.
Bulmilja realizes that, and he's just going. We're gonna see. I mean, he can't wait. He doesn't have the luxury. These batteries are gonna come online soon. And let's see how this fight goes.
Yeah, he's going right into the nat here. Luckily does hit before these batteries are finished, but he will just go right up into the main base where there is already a overcharged battery. Does not choose to focus it down either, instead using the Immortal and Stalkers to try and DPS down the Stalkers themselves, which they will do pretty good of a job at. The probe pull is what's going to be really difficult to deal with here, because now that the extra batteries on the ground are also finishing up, it's going to allow these probes to actually stay alive and DPS down the whole freaking army. And without that, he's got nothing else back at home with his probes already dying to the oracles. And I mean, it seems like Guitar King's probes are just simply better than Bromilja's. They're 1, alive, and 2, killing other units. It's crazy.
Yeah, and at this point, I think the game is over. I'm not sure what Bulmilja's thinking. He's chrono boosting his warp gates. Don't know if he's got the money to actually build out of those warp gates, though. The Zealot is just now gonna find the proxy, and it's gonna get to work ASAP on that pylon. Good job, Zealot. Meanwhile, 2 Adepts are gonna try to shade in. I mean, this is gonna be scouted, right? Well, they're in the main. Actually, hold the thought. These Adepts getting some work done.
Yeah, it's not being responded to. I'm not actually sure what Guitar King is looking at. He's not even moving his main army. The Oracles are not moving either, so he's going to lose 6 probes, 7 even, and the Adepts are still alive and still need to be dealt with here. He's got the double Oracle still alive, though, which, as long as those are there, this is still fully in Guitar King's control. He will finally lose one, but I mean, it's been long past due at this point. The Adepts are somehow still alive, so Guitar King is really trying his absolute darndest to throw this straight out the fucking window. We'll finally kill these Adepts off, and I mean, surely now he can finally okay, there we go. Can't even finish my thought because it is straight up too much of a deficit. Guitar King will send it home for Team Eiger. So yeah, that is a 1-4 in total, but we will still play the last game just in case for map score, because this could still be a 1-5 or a 2-4. And I mean, so this is kind of insane. So now we're at the situation, though, where we are now at a crossroads between these two prophets that I've brought onto the stream today. We have the match between Larimbo's insane predictions and saying that Guitar King is going to Raffle Stomp 2-0 this match, which would put it to a 1-5, and we have Dactyl's coin flip saying that it was supposed to be a 2-4, but we have no idea who is the heads and the tails. So which one is it going to be, is basically my question at this point. Is it going to be a 2-4, and we see that Dactyl is actually the smartest person in this Discord, or is it going to be a 1-5, proving that Larimbo is actually super Italian and super correct?
Yeah, we're gonna find out. Just, you know, if I get it wrong, don't blame me. Just blame the coins. That's all I've got to say in my defense.
Yeah, that is true. You did kind of put a lot less on the coin there, whereas Larimbo was really putting his heart, soul, and his hands into the motion of his predictions there. So we will be seeing what exactly ends up happening here. But regardless, to say that Eiger's team finally does catch their first win in the team league here. So this is a first for both teams, as both my team was winless and got their first win, and Eiger's team now is getting theirs as well. So the league is becoming extremely competitive, and we'll be getting some quite interesting matches going on into the next couple weeks here to really round out who will be getting into the playoffs and whatnot. But regardless, we still will play out this last game and see what our final map score is.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about the mental aspects of this. So Bulmilja, I think he has to be really kicking himself for missing that proxy multiple times. As you mentioned, he's just a pixel away. So I'm wondering how that influences his game plan here. Does he decide to go for a proxy himself? Does he decide to, instead of responding with a robo, if he doesn't see the second pylon, does he get a Stargate? Does he go for some sort of pressure, or does he just get blink as early as possible to use that as an all-around kind of defense if he doesn't see what he's expecting to see in Guitar King's base? I'm not sure what he's thinking, honestly. These are all kind of things he could be considering, but I know for sure he does not want to be duped by that proxy again, and he definitely doesn't want that to happen again. So he's going to do whatever he can to make that not happen.
Yep. And it will actually be happening this time because Guitar King is once again putting a proxy down, but it looks like it is going to just be a fake one. So he's actually he's even playing into the mind games very well. Guitar King knowing fully what this all means for the series itself, knowing that his proxy won him the game. It was scouted extremely late, and now he's kind of playing right into that, knowing that Bulmilja will be a bit tilted from that. It is trying to make him think twice. What is actually happening? Is it another proxy that I'm barely not going to scout again? Or is it not? Is it just a fake?
And Bulmil, that exactly seems to be what's happening, because he went to the linear third, but he didn't actually see the pylon because it's right on the edge. So I would not be surprised if this warrants a third gateway and some sort of tech as a response.
Sorry, I had to.
We see the robo again.
Over. I wasn't sure if you were talking. Sorry, my earbuds were not in. Sorry, I had to go and run and turn my laundry on. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying, what is Bulmilja's response going to be? Because Bulmilja has not seen that pylon at the third, so he is still under the assumption that there could be a proxy somewhere out on the map that he hasn't scouted. It looks like it's going to be the same response, but this time, since Guitar King is not doing the proxy Stargate into double Oracle, he's just going Stalker. I think it was Stalker, Sentry. I believe that's his order units. He's just expanding, and he's expanding considerably earlier because Bulmilja is still thinking something's gonna hit. But the longer this goes, he's just gonna be in even more of an economic deficit. Again, we see the same response: Chrono Immortal, more Stalkers. I'm getting really concerned. Although Bulmilja is deciding to proxy he's deciding to proxy Guitar King this time with a proxy gateway, and I don't believe Guitar King has spotted that. So that could be impactful a little bit later. But we'll have to see when he decides to go, because his expansion is still not down, and Guitar King's is almost done.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Bulmilja's response to proxies is just to go for a robo in base while trying to scout around. The problem is that he doesn't have one of his probes set to double check on the Nexus at 3 minutes to know if it's coming down to the normal time or not. And only just now is his probe going to get in there and actually confirm that, oh my god, he's just expanded. There's not even any proxy happening right now. And, I mean, he might have been able to put 2 and 2 together by this point, and then thus is already kind of deciding that he's like, okay, well, I've got this robo, I guess I have to go into this aggressive stance now. I'm going to get a proxy gateway, and I'm going to kind of have to go across the map because I've almost forced my hand to do this with what my natural response is to a potential proxy. So I don't really like Bulmilja's response in these proxy situations, to be honest. I personally feel like going Stargate is a little bit more of a versatile response versus all proxies, so that way you don't have to dip so hard into the anti-proxy, and then you can still have a probe going around to check if there's an expansion coming out. You don't really need to know exactly what their proxy is going to be.
Guitar King sees the move out, and this is going to be the fight. I mean, Bulmilja's not expanding. He's doing this with 2 Immortals, and this is not going too well, losing 1 Stalker, 1 almost dead, taking significant amount of hull damage. Guitar King feels very confident. He's still probing. I like these two adepts from Bulmilja. He did have really good. Oh, okay, well, I don't like it like this because it's a bit too obvious. I feel they're gonna get in the main, but
I mean,
ooh, this
it's
is really nice. Some
yeah,
Prism Micro.
still
Meanwhile,
pretty
the
good
main
for him.
fight.
He's gonna even
I
just
don't
go
know.
straight into the Nat as well. Tries to focus down the Mortal, and will get on top of these units, ignoring the battery yet again when that's fully in range of him. And I mean, that's not really gonna do that well, as a force field will also bump that Immortal up closer to allow it to finally get killed off. And Bullmilja's steam
Emerald
is
needs to be
running
picked up.
out pretty quickly here.
Yeah. Oh, I think that's it.
Yep. A single army supply. What even is it? Oh, it's an observer. I was like, what the hell gives him one army supply? And yeah, Guitar King will take it. So it seems like Lorimbo is actually just literally the smartest fucking person that we've ever had ever
Yep.
in existence, as he perfectly predicts every
Wow.
single match in today's entire series. And that's just absolutely insane. I mean, we're going to bring him on here as well. Congratulations, Mr. Lorimbo, on your insane predicting. I
Hello,
mean,
hello.
how does it feel to just be the smartest person?
Well, I had infinite faith in Guitar King. Like, you know, the Eiger Empo one, you never know it's PvP. Gold Puncher and the Goat, like, I don't know them that well. I thought that they were Zergs, so it was a bit here. But this one, I had infinite faith. So let's talk about the games. First game, already you can see the 300 IQ move from Guitar King, putting the Stargate in an unscoutable spot. You don't know it, but there is a secret shroud over the spots. So it automatically avoids being detected. His opponent's brain automatically deletes the memory of that spot even existing, and he completely forgets about it. It's impossible to sky. It's literally mind games into the next level. So that's he already had like the perfect spot in mind, and then it was really scary for a moment, but once again Guitar King showing his experience knows from a Terran perspective that if you just pull 30 workers, they're gonna kill just about anything, especially with batteries. So first game pretty obvious, clear domination. Second game also pretty obvious. Guitar King doesn't really do anything, he just plays a magic trick on his opponent. He influences the brain pattern and he convinces him of not expanding. He expands himself and he managed to get ahead. Good scouting. He managed to confirm both at the 3-minute mark and at the 4-minute mark with hallucination that his opponent is not expanding. Correct guesses what the ballpark of what kind of all-in he was getting, and managed to hold it pretty easily. It was slightly scary with the adepts. Not really sure why I didn't have the probe on position. I've seen this trick with adepts while all-in very often. But likely just had so much stuff that it was a stomp anyway.
Yeah, very, very, very good summing of exactly what was happening there. I like the tidbit of how it was such a good proxy that it's just deleted from his brain.
Yeah. It's but you don't understand. It's impossible to scout. Like
Yeah.
that's my average PvP experience. You scout the whole map, and then one spot your brain forgot about. That's where the proxy is
Yeah,
always.
yeah, it's so true, actually. That's so accurate. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, Guitar King showing that he is indeed pretty good at PvP. It seems like he's been a good pickup for the replacement of Shu for Eiger's team here, getting him a nice win once he's actually able to play his main race, even though he had a tough time last week forcing to play the off race versus Mars Bar. But yeah, being able to play his main race today was definitely a good thing for him. Dactyl, what are you feeling about the match as a whole as we start to conclude here?
I think this was a great series of PvPs. I'm not gonna lie, I would have liked to see a little bit of variation. Uh, maybe some players with different races, but it's okay. I can handle 6 PvPs in a row. Uh, you know, on the whole, I liked it. It was a bit more bland than I thought. I was waiting for the cannon rusher to come. I was waiting for the massive DT blink play or the disruptor drop or the Colossus drop. But these guys, they kind of all just wanted to play standard and stalkers and those kinds of flavors. Which I'm not going to fault them for that. Maybe in the future they get some ideas for some spicier gameplay. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, this was actually the first time that we had an all PvP series. I mean, we were bound to have it eventually, given the fact this is the All Things Protoss Team League. But every other match has actually had a non PvP, or even multiple non PvPs, and even matches with no Protosses at all. So this is finally our all PvP series, and
How lucky.
yeah, I'm glad that you were here.
Did I get?
I mean,
Yeah.
Lorimbo. I mean, you can't even complain with your perfect analysis, your perfect predictions. Like this was the match that you were destined to cast and analyze, man.
True. It was written in the stars.
Yeah, I mean, it all ended up pretty good for Eiger as well, as he did finally get his first match win, and his first whole team win as well. So he'll be feeling probably pretty good about that right now. But yeah, this will make the standings be pretty interesting, as again, every team does have a win at this point. So there's actually a lot of 1-2s right now, with, I believe it should be Eba's team in sole possession of first place after this. We're going to get the Liquipedia updated a little bit, hopefully by the end of today. So that way we can actually see exactly where everything is, because I am so bad at math and being able to figure out where all that stuff is without it just being done automatically for me. So anyways, that's going to be pretty much it here as we start to wrap up the week 3. Any final closing thoughts from Lorimbo? I've absolutely loved having you on this desk.
This was actually way more fun than I thought I was not gonna be that fun. I had a blast doing this.
Excellent.
So
excellent.
yeah, glad to be invited. Thank you, Gemini.
Yeah,
It was pretty fun.
of course. And Dactyl as well was joining us as the caster as well, as our first co-caster. It was great to have you on, Dactyl. I'm sure everyone enjoyed hearing your incredible analysis throughout the series. How do you feel about the overall day as a closing thought?
Well, yes. Thank you for the compliment, Gemini. I do think that it's definitely well earned. As I mentioned, I queried Bing's AI to figure out how to be a good caster, and I believe I delivered. I just want to compliment Lorimbo. I agree. I really enjoyed having Lorimbo here. Yeah, his analysis speaks for itself. I mean, he was spot on. So would love to see some more analysis from Lorimbo going forward. And of course, I enjoyed co-casting with you, Gemini. I think it was a great experience.
Awesome. Glad to have you both here. I'm going to go ahead and close out the stream by myself, so I will see you guys later, and maybe back on the desk in the future here. So thanks for coming on, guys, and I'll see you later.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
See.
Bye.
Peace. All right, and there we have it. The 1-5 for Eiger against Enpo will be getting his first series win. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the this week's edition of the All Things Protoss Team League. And yeah, that's all I got. I have to do laundry, and I have to do some other stuff. So I will see you guys later. I will probably do some streams sometime in the week, perhaps, and then we'll be back again for the next edition of the All Things Protoss Team League on the weekend. I will see you guys later.